Hi, I'm Daphne Brogdon. Welcome to another episode of 24 Inside. Today, we really are inside. As you can see, I'm in President Logan's presidential retreat, and right over that wall, CTU. Yes, so cool. Today, we are going to talk to the people who really put 24 on the air. A lot of elements go into 24, not only during shooting, but afterwards. So who keeps track of all that? Well, we're going to meet him. Paul Gadd, he's the co-producer and post-production supervisor. Paul, taking care of post-production on 24, it seems like that would be a very big job because there's a lot of stuff that you have to do after everything's been shot, right?
Everything I do is after it's been shot.
Well, I mean, as the production. What's the first thing you do after everything's been shot? What do you need to make sure happens?
Every day after we shoot the film, it goes to the lab, is processed overnight. We get the dailies. After it's processed, I guess I should go back a little bit, after it's processed at the lab, the film, it's then transferred to videotape overnight, which we then master to, and we have a tape that comes back to our editors and is digitized into the computers, the Avids that we cut on, and the editors work with that. So that's sort of the first step.
You do some visual effects. Didn't you do something with the helicopter? You had to like create.
Yeah, we don't do a lot of visual effects in the show,
Okay.
but we do a lot of things that people don't really notice. Where there's a scene this year where Jack was on the roof saving Nathan, or trying to. I guess he gets shot, and the helicopter, which Jack shoots at, smokes and then goes away. The smoke canister that was smoking from the helicopter stopped working. It ran out of smoke halfway through the shot, so we then added some smoke to that.
So it's one of those things where on the ground as they were filming it, they were thinking, we'll fix it in post.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you come in. Is that a problem sometimes, or in production, are they too much like, we'll fix it in post?
No, I think they're for the most part very conscious, and there are a lot of things that we paint out. Sometimes, especially with the way we have a lot of handheld photography, you have one of the camera guys will be in the shot, or a piece of the set will be there. So we paint things out regularly, or blow up shots to get rid of lights we're seeing. And another cool effect we did a couple of years ago, which is where we had the F-18 jets fly over, and Jack was down in the LA River, and I forget the bad guy's name. Saunders was running to his helicopter, and the F-18s came through and blew it up. The F-18s were real. We had cooperation from the Marines or the Navy there to come by and do that. And it was a real helicopter sitting there, but it was a shell of a helicopter, and we knew when we shot it that we were going to, in post, add the rotor blades to it. So the rotor blades then were added in post. So the tail one and the big rotor are spinning full speed, and then when it blows up, the rotors also blow apart and fly apart. And I think you see pieces of them through 4 or 5 shots.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's it's a great seamless effect, which nobody really knows. It just looks like they came in and blew up the helicopter.
Yeah, no, I would never know that. Well, I thought this was a real house when I was watching this. I thought, they found a neat house in LA.
I love this house.
Yeah, I know. I'd move in here. Who knows? It's all real. So you've got interesting action scenes like that, but then you also are doing a lot of the smaller bits. I think you call them inserts with like the PDAs, and you do that, don't you?
Yeah, I do a lot of the insert shooting. We shoot a lot of stuff after the fact. We have we'll shoot the script as is, and then almost with the exception of a couple episodes this season, we've had additional photography. After we've wrapped a particular episode, we'll go back and write new scenes and shoot things, as well as we'll have inserts for Jack's PDA or a telephone, or somebody picking up something on a table.
So then do you have to schedule the actors to, can you come in and just pick up your cell phone a couple times?
The actors generally don't do that. We have doubles that come in for the hands, and that way we don't have to worry about the actor schedule and bother them with just using a hand. We'll have somebody else.
Hand double.
a lot of times we'll shoot a lot of computer inserts when Chloe's working on the computer diligently.
Chloe's hands.
We will have somebody comes in, they'll wear her wardrobe, because we shoot a lot of them instead of just being right tight on the screen. We'll have a little, you'll see the shoulder, you'll see you'll see her hair, you see so it's not just such a clean insert.
What's another aspect that people don't know that an average Joe wouldn't know that you take care of?
Sound is, equally as important as the picture to the show, and because we're on a lot of noisy locations, we do a lot of location work, and we actually add quite a few lines in the post process when Joel comes in and works with the show. A lot of times he wants to add lines to help clarify things, and so typically you'll be on somebody's back and you'll add a line of dialogue, and so I work with the actors every week. We go to an ADR stage, which is additional dialogue recording,
and that's looping. They also call that looping, right?
Looping, and they look at their image on the screen, and whatever the scene is, it's cut. It's there for them, and there's a series of beeps and that cues them when to say the line. And if it's an old line that there might have been a noisy location where an airplane flew by, or it was traffic, or if it's here on the stage, there are some times where somebody just drops something. You'll hear a big bang in the background, or there's a hum that was in the room. And they'll hear a series of beeps, and they have a headset. They can listen to themselves and hear their old line. And the idea is to recreate the same performance as they did on the set. I mean, sometimes they want to change it a little bit, but for the most part, it's really trying to recreate the performance so it blends into the soundtrack.
Are some actors better at that than others?
Well, absolutely. Kiefer is unbelievable how, being that he's leading our show and has the most location work of anybody, he's always out running and doing things and has a good amount of ADR. And it's amazing how quickly he does it. He has a very good ear. He has a good musical sense, and a lot of it is technical rather than creative. And that's
you don't have to be like he's not recreating the role so much, or
it's a technical thing. If you have to, if they're talking, it's one thing if they're sitting here talking like we are having a conversation. It's easy enough to do a line when somebody's in front of the mic. But if they are running and talking or turning their head, which if you have a scene in dialogue and people are moving around, it can be difficult to recreate that on a sound stage. So it's a matter of, all right, when you say this word, try turning your head a little bit this way, and a little more, whether it's adding breath to it to make it sound like they're in motion.
Yeah, is that one of your more favorite parts of the job?
Yeah, it's enjoying to get out of the office.
Yeah, right.
Get to see
going somewhere.
Although it's in another dark room.
Yeah.
But
are you having long hours now because you're towards the end of the season?
Yeah, things do get a little longer.
More challenging.
More challenging.
Well, thank you for putting together these last episodes and all the episodes. Can't wait to see them all.
To me either.
It's good to talk to you, Paul.
Thank you.
All right, I'm with Joel Surnow, co-creator and executive producer of 24 on the CTU set. Thank you very much. Joel, I was so excited, as I'm sure a lot of people are who see this, like, oh my God, I'm on the CTU set. Is that exciting to have created something that has that kind of energy for people?
Well, it's still exciting for me to come out here, too, especially when we're shooting like this, because you've got so much technology and so many, it's like a Vegas casino. It's like there's just something happening every time you come down here. So it's still actually exciting for me as well to come down here. But yeah, I mean, I love when we bring a fan who's never been to a TV or movie set, and they love the show, and they walk through these doors and they see this. Just the look on their face is priceless, because it's like much bigger than they expected, and it's a little different, and it's a great feeling.
Yeah, and when I was looking around like, oh my God, is that where Edgar died? And oh, is that where Tony died? And
We still have the blood over there where Tony died, and the puke where Edgar died. No.
Wait, I didn't see Edgar puke.
He had a little stuff come out of the side of his mouth.
Well, on the other side of puke, you've actually had some real VIP fans come, haven't you? Or like Seal's a fan, John McCain.
Rush Limbaugh.
Oh my gosh.
John Mayer. Yourself.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah,
another
Laura
A-lister.
Ingram is here right now.
No kidding.
10 feet away from us. And
so you cross all political spectrums.
Yeah, I mean, Barbara Streisand and Rush Limbaugh. We allow everybody in.
There you go, 24, the great unifier.
We're the great unifier.
And Stephen King writes a blog, right?
Stephen King has written about, I don't think he writes a blog, but he's written 2 articles in Entertainment Weekly about us. I get a gift from Tina Turner every year because we send her episodes on the road, and she's a huge fan. I know that a lot of people in the White House are fans. I've heard Rumsfeld's a fan, and Andy Card is a huge fan.
Do you think they're taking a little political direction from y'all? I mean, I don't want to say, but your president, not the best president.
I hope he's not taking any leads from our president this year.
Yeah.
I mean, our last president was a little more of a stand-up guy than this president.
Yeah,
but
I know.
We don't model anybody after any living people. It's just
sure.
a story.
That's what you're saying. I got it.
It's true. It's true.
So what are the plans now for a movie? 24 movie?
Well, what we want to do with the movie is take the story to places we can't go. Because of the real-time element, we can only stay in Los Angeles. We can't move the story around.
How often can the terrorists attack the valley, right?
They attack it every year.
No.
And it's a great LA that we live in, because in our show you can get anywhere in 10 minutes and there's never any traffic.
And cell phones never drop out.
And cell phones never drop out. You don't have to eat or go to the bathroom.
That's
great. It's great. But the show we want to make sort of an international. I mean, in a strange way, the show, the Jack Bauer character will become, in a sense, sort of a realistic, modern James Bond.
He has that
exotic
potential.
locales, and
Will you still be trying to do it in some kind of real time?
What the plan is to do it in the course of a 24-hour day. So it's a 2-hour movie that takes place over a 24-hour day. So you could start with an hour, say, in Asia, and then fly 18 hours or 12 hours to Europe, and then another 7 hours you fly to the United States. And, you could actually have somebody be in 3 different locations in the course of a day and play out these 45-minute storylines.
So will it parallel the show, go off in another direction?
No, it's not going to be the show. We're not going to give them CTU, Los Angeles, the show. It will be the Jack Bauer story with the elements and the intensity of the show and sort of the same storytelling elements, but we want it to be its own entity. I mean, the goal for us is to do sort of what they did with the Bourne movies.
I was going to say, take that Bourne Supremacy.
And just make it our own. I mean, I think we have higher stakes than those movies. I mean, those movies are great, but Jack Bauer's about saving the world.
Yeah.
And we want to continue to do that, but make it, a big screen experience.
When you started this, the first pilot, did you have any idea that people would connect with the show the way they have?
I knew that in 6 years from writing the pilot, I would be standing here talking to you.
That's what's amazing. That's why you're so brilliant.
That's why we do it. I mean, I knew
it. Because really...
I can't answer that question. How do you don't even think that you're going to get another week employment in our business.
Yeah, no, in fact, I don't.
Yeah, so neither did I up until the show, so there you go.
But season 5, though, you have even bigger ratings than you did earlier
why is
on.
that? Let me ask you a question. Why is that?
Well, I'm going to say, I think because slowly there's more of a zeitgeist, word of mouth. People are like, have you seen it? Have you seen it? And more and more
agree with you. I think the
start
season 4 DVD sold really well. It sold much more than the previous 3 seasons, and I think a lot of people liked season 4. It started telling people, and then all of a sudden people tuned in. They liked what we did, and now we're still selling seasons 1, 2, and 3 at a higher level than we did when they first came out.
I got to say, I thought season 4 was my favorite season.
Yeah,
I thought it was just holistically all levels. It was
a lot of people feel that way.
Really,
but so I think the fact we had a really good season 4 and the DVD sales were great really kicked us off well going into season 5. I don't know if the zeitgeist. I do think, the only other show I could think of that in its 5th and 6th season did really well, and in fact better than it did in the first seasons, was Law and Order. And again, that was a format change of show. I mean, that show had a different format than any other show.
Yep.
So did we. So I think maybe it takes 3 or 4 years for people to get comfortable with just a new kind of storytelling.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It sounds like they're going to start shooting. So
no, they're okay. They're not.
Oh, okay, good.
Hey, I'm the boss. They shoot when I tell them to shoot.
Okay, all right. I'm talking to Daphne. I think also the DVDs help people get caught up so then they can enter the next season.
Our feeling is every season's a separate story. If you've never seen the show before and you started with season 5, you can catch up to it. And if you're coming in the middle of a season, it's not that much that happens that you couldn't within, an episode kind of know, because it takes place in such a short amount of time.
You can, but
it's
I gotta
not that
say,
complicated.
when Carlos Bernard's character, when he passed away, and Kiefer was with him, and it was like, it was so pregnant with emotion.
Right, if you've
when
seen
you
the
know
show
what
for
they've
5 years,
through,
it means more.
I'm like, that was Kiefer's Emmy moment. That was his Emmy scene.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. I mean, it's a richer experience if you've seen it all. But if you just turn on the show and you kind of catch up to it, you're going to like the adrenaline rush of the show anyway. Yeah,
because if there was too much connectivity to the past seasons, then it would be a soap.
Right. No, it's not that. It's a separate season, separate days, separate set of characters. I mean, after 2 seasons, I think we repopulated CTU. We went a whole new way with it. The Palmer character sort of left after season 3. I mean, it's really about a constant state of change in our show.
Well, when a character's been on more than 2 seasons, are you sort of thinking, dead man walking?
No. It's, here's how we look at the show. The show is about the war on terrorism, and we want to make it feel as real as possible. And in war, there are casualties, and if you don't have somebody die that you care about, then it becomes a little kind of Hollywood heroic, and the good guys are going to win all the time, and it becomes simplistic. So we do that not because we don't love these actors. We do. I mean, there's so many incredible actors that we've lost. I mean, from Carlos Bernard to Xander Berkeley and Penny Johnson. But the story trumps everything for us.
And then there's also kind of an interesting thing where people come on, like the Bill Buchanan character, who you think, he'll be a one-episoder,
right,
and ends up being a big part for on to the next season.
Well, there's a chemistry at CTU, and one of the things we needed, and why we brought James Morrison, who plays Bill Buchanan, is it was getting a little young, and we needed like an adult in the room to ground it. He's such a grounded, solid guy, and we just love him. And we need him. We were just starting to talk about season 6,
really,
and I hate to say that we try to top ourselves each year. We just try to come up with a storyline that will work, and that will allow us to do the things we have done in all seasons. We really want to, I think, go deeper into the reality of the world today and start to... Hey, John, give us 1 minute to just finish this interview. Okay.
I've interviewed him before.
All right.
Look at this. We've got major power here.
Right here.
Surnow says we're holding.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think we want to just start to really bring the reality of the world and the war on terror into the show next year.
All right, so that would mean things, different themes we haven't seen?
No,
or?
Not different themes. Just believe it or not, we want to even feel more intense than we have felt up until now. And make it feel like this could be the world if we don't do something about it. So.
I got to tell you, when I was pregnant watching it, it was the adrenaline rush. My kid was like...
Your kid came out like this.
Yeah, right. She was like, ready. Does Jack need me? All right, well, I don't want to hold him up too much, but thank you so much, Joel.
Daphne.
Look forward to seeing it. All right, still on the CTU set here with Jayne Atkinson, Karen Hughes of Homeland Security. Now,
Hayes.
See, this is what was so funny. I was thinking Karen Hughes the whole time.
But everybody says Karen Hughes.
But you know why? Because she's Bush's, right-hand gal. And you come in with Homeland Security, you're with the Feds. I think the producers did it to kind of give you that extra...
They did, because a good friend of mine just said Karen Hughes, and I finally had to say Karen Hayes.
Yeah.
That's it. So you and my best friend are right on.
Thank you. I'm like your best friend. Thanks so much. Now, this is kind of a big sacrifice for you to be doing 24, because your home is Connecticut.
Connecticut.
And you're missing your little one there.
My Jeremy James Atkinson Giddle.
Oh, what a great name.
That's his whole name.
Now, do you allow him to watch 24?
I do not.
Oh, yeah, it's too intense, huh?
He's 6.5.
Yeah, maybe not. Well, he can watch a DVD in a few years, maybe.
Yes, and he will. He'll be like his father and I.
Were you a fan of the show before you came on?
I was. In fact, when I first got here, I walked into CTU and I did one of these. Oh my God, I'm in CTU! I know.
I just did that.
Yes, I know. and then I had to go to work and be me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you're kind of, I think your character's going to change a little bit, I'm guessing, but, you're kind of bad news for CTU, too.
I am.
Now, it's interesting, though, your character, your right-hand guy, Miles, we can tell he's bad news, right?
Yes.
But now you...
Does the word oily mean anything?
Yeah,
oh my gosh,
really...
he's so wonderful. He and I worked on Broadway together.
Oh, doing what?
Our Town with Mr. Blue Eyes, Paul Newman, and Jane Curtin.
Wow, what a cast.
Oh, yeah, fabulous cast. So he and I have worked together before, so when we work together, we'll talk about it, and go for the scene. So we have a very good working relationship. And Jean Smart and Gregory Itzen did a play together.
Oh, well, they have great chemistry, too.
Well,
there you go.
Out.
Well, now, is there also seem to be, besides the Karen Hughes, Karen Hayes thing, Homeland Security kind of got in a lot of flack with the Katrina overseeing FEMA, and now I'm thinking they're kind of playing on that here. Homeland Security is kind of breaking up the CTU party.
Right. Yeah, they're taking over. Everything's going under the umbrella of, I think, in order to break down the firewalls, the stacks, or whatever they call them in CIA, FBI talk. But it's just to make sure that everybody knows what everybody else is doing.
Yeah. But I'm getting the feeling that Karen Hayes is ambivalent about this role, that she doesn't really like being the disturber here. Am I right?
No, she actually, I think, starts off feeling that it's a very, it's an ambitious move on her part. I think that she sees an opportunity. I think she is a career woman and sees an opportunity, and then she gets here and she sees how things are being handled, and I think she's smart when she starts to say, I don't know if we should do this right now.
Yeah.
And then she's told, no, do it.
So what do you think has been most challenging about the role? Playing those different layers or having to keep that bun all these weeks?
It's this flippin' bun!
Little Doris Day thing. It's okay. You just want to get rid of it.
Take it off!
I know.
It's pinned within an inch of
It's
its life.
amazing
Oh
how
my
it's
God,
stayed. I mean, it's like indestructible. You need Sentox gas to get rid of it.
Look at it, look at it,
Look
this
at that.
thing. It just never comes out.
Oh my God, it goes on forever. Do you have a headache?
No. Oh, it feels so good.
There you go. We're seeing a whole new you. So what's an undercurrent that you are playing her? Is there something that we don't know about, some inner life for Karen?
Yes.
What?
She's very attracted to Bill Buchanan.
Well, who can blame her? I have to say that stiff guy got more and more attractive as it went along.
Yes. No, there's something.
Oh, I'm liking this. That's good.
Yes,
Because all
but
terrorism and no play.
All day long.
Yeah, right.
Talking about all kinds of things, you know.
Yeah.
No, there's a little bit of that.
Was there something that surprised you in the making of 24 you didn't expect, either something positive or a challenge?
It is a challenge to be that intense all day long. And there's a lot of technical talk. And, you know, when you're in a scene with Jack Bauer, when you're in a scene with you know, when you're doing that kind of a scene, it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
I don't get headaches,
Yeah.
but it is, as an actor, tremendously taxing and challenging to keep it up, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. All day.
Just remember the lines.
And remembering the lines when there's lots of other people going da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and one person blows it in it. And so you just have to really rely on each other, and you have to really show up.
Well, it certainly shows in your acting, and thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you, it's great.
Bye. Hi, Jeremy. Well, that's it for this episode of 24 Inside. I'm Daphne Brogdon. We'll see you next time.